So here we are at JMP Autowerkz with Kyle.
So we're doing the AMS intake manifold to hopefully resolve some of our heat sinking issues that we faced from every other event that we've been to with this car.
And how much do these usually go for?
MSRP is usually around $4,000, but luckily AMS has come on board with this build and they were to help us out with a little bit of the pricing. So some of the big benefits you get out of it is besides being able to run port injection down the line when you want to add more power, as these cars are fuel limited, this car heat soaks after about a single lap.
This car. What motor does it have?
So it has the B58. It's been a fantastic motor so far. It just needs little tweaks here and there to make it run properly. About 5 or 6 months I've had this car now, and I pretty much purchased it as is, besides the end plates and now the intake manifold. But it's a very basic setup that can be replicated by anyone.
Basic.
Okay. It's got a stop technique brake kit, and obviously the TE37s. We're running KW Club Sports on there. They're 2-ways.
Let's look inside.
As well as the interior safety, we have a roll bar in there, and as well as the bucket seats. To help with the rear downforce, we have this wing from G Street. It works really well. It's not really, we don't have that much angle in it because we don't have much front downforce, but we're going to be fixing that issue very soon.
Before anything, I think people want to see how big this wing is. I mean, for the average person, right? Probably like what, 4 feet?
It's closer to above 5.5 feet.
Above 5. So this thing's massive. And yeah, you were saying you didn't have much angle on it?
No, it's only about 6 degrees right now of angle.
Okay.
But we'll be adding some more as we add a front splitter that we got from RS Future. Because as of right now, it's a really basic 1-dimensional or 2-dimensional splitter. So it's just a flat splitter. There's no tunnels in it or anything like that. So we have a splitter that we're going to install this week that'll help our front downforce issue.
How much power is the car making now? Do you know?
The car should be making anywhere from 450 to 490. It hasn't been dynoed yet. Hopefully we'll get it on the dyno. But again, that power gets dropped really quick after it heat soaks.
How many track days have you had on it?
Like 3 or 4, so not that much seat time in the car. That's something we're looking to fix this year. As my old car, I didn't get much seat time in, and it was kind of 1 lap per event. Okay,
so if you guys don't follow Kyle on Instagram, you can... Making a video. So if you guys don't follow Kyle on Instagram, I'll put it here. You can see that he still has his old username, Evil1M. So that was his old car. And then why did you switch over to this?
More chassis development with this car. There's a lot more people that are modifying these cars versus when I had the 1M. The 1M I kind of had to do it on my own. And there was a couple people I could look at and see what I could do. But everything got really expensive when you had to do it and make stuff yourself. And with this car, there's more parts coming out and more people are starting to track these and especially do a lot of stuff in the drag racing world with these cars. So hopefully this car will have more developments in the future.
And in terms of, say, costing, because I think that's the biggest hurdle or roadblock for most people trying to, like, you know, get into a new platform. Would you say this is cheaper than a 1M or about the same?
I wouldn't say it's much cheaper, but overall it'll probably be a little bit cheaper in the long run, paying for maintenance or repairs that you can focus on actually driving the car, as well as driver progression. The car needs a couple basic things to let it flow. We have a catless downpipe in the car and an EcuTech tune that was tuned from CSG, so the car makes a lot of power. But besides that, there's not much to it besides basic suspension. We have SPL arms in the car as well with the KWs. And then just the spec tire that we run for GTA.
Which is the AO52s?
AO52s, yeah.
Going over a little bit more of the interior, can you pull out the steering wheel? I think people want to see that.
So the car came with a really cool JMP wheel that has some really nice paddles and some buttons that we can use to control, say, the tune. Majority of them work, or almost all of them work, they do. But it's really nice when you have a car this small. Getting in and out is quite difficult, especially with the bucket with the halo. So having that being able to come on and off is really nice.
And then what are those things there? Like, looks like a...
So we have a surge tank in here to help fuel starvation during mid-cornering. And that's to control the fuel pumps within the surge tank. We can't really see it right now because it's in the trunk. But if you look down, there's a surge tank down there. We were able to get the trunk open at some point.
So we finally got the trunk open, and this is Kyle's second time seeing or opening the trunk.
Only other time was when I accidentally opened the trunk and had to take the wing off.
Which is right now.
Which is right now.
Okay. So walk us through what's going on here. Like,
so this is just a basic chassis mount structure that was installed to help support the wing instead of mounting to the trunk, which the trunk isn't super strong and able to hold the wing's downforce. So this was installed to help support the wing. And as well, we can get a really good look at the surge tank. If you come over here, we can see the surge tank that we were talking about before.
oh, right there. And this helps with,
Fuel starvation.
from say like cornering at
Yeah, like
140.
anything, this car will not run anything below like a full tank. You'll have a lot of fuel starvation. So that kind of eliminates that pretty much until you're out of fuel. You don't want to run it really low fuel, but it helps with that issue a lot. So now we have no fuel starvation issues.
And I've seen other Supras, like Jackie's Supra, where, you know, the wing is actually mounted on here. I think, was it here or
so
the trunk?
He had one that was mounted onto the trunk. And that one, like I said, the trunk's not very strong, so that one he had to reinforce at a certain point.
Okay.
I'm not saying it doesn't work, it's just over time it's not a stress point like how this would be. How this is just metal. But yeah, he mounted his to the quarter panel right here. It's just a different way of mounting the wing and more efficient. The car was pretty set up, and there's not many modifications you do have to do for the car to work and be really fast.
And your last track day in this was where?
At Willow Springs.
Willow Springs. So you have the sticker there. Did you get that there too?
That was put on my car for my girlfriend.
Okay.
So I'll keep it on there for a little while.
Okay. Then what other events are you looking at, you know, driving this at?
So besides our regular test days that we have coming up with, per se, So-Called Drivers Club, we have an event. Our first event is with Boomer Challenge at Buttonwillow, and that's actually March 5th. So we have that coming up, and that's at Buttonwillow Clockwise 13. So hopefully we'll get the car sorted and we'll be able to set some really fast laps.
Then there's also Grid Life. No?
We have Grid Life coming up in March.
Big Willow.
Big Willow and Street, so it'll be really cool for Grid Life to come out west. They're really big in the Midwest, so it's really nice to see them come out here.
And is the sound gonna change, if anything, once you
The
put that?
sound won't really change. We will add a couple horsepower. I'm not sure. We haven't dynoed it before, but we're going to dyno it afterwards just to see where we are. Hopefully we'll add 10 to 15 horsepower maybe, but what we're looking forward to mostly is the reliability sake and be able to get more laps in as the car would heat soak after one lap.
Are there any bigger plans for this car besides this?
We do have a bigger plan. We have a splitter hanging up in the racks over there that we just had made.
It's up there. But yeah.
It was made by RS Future Amir. He's a really good buddy of mine, and he makes really cool parts. Some are on his NSX that he uses for time attack as well. But it'll really help our front downforce issue as we struggle in the high-speed parts of most racetracks with this car, having a flat splitter with no tunnels. But once we add that and the manifold, we'll have more reliable power and more downforce. So we should be able to set some fast lap times.
Thanks, Kyle.
Of course. Just checking it out.
So we have the intake, and you said it should add like what, 10, 15?
Hopefully, yeah. It's mostly for the heat soak loss, but we'll see.
Are there supposed to be more intake sounds now, if anything?
I think so, just a little bit though.
Wait, does this have E85 now?
Yeah.
So is it running half and half, or like?
Well, we can see actually.
Where?
We're about 49%.
How do you see it?
So we press reduce on the steering wheel.
Okay.
It can show on the tack percentage-wise.
Oh, I see. Okay. So 5 means
It's about half.
It's about half. Gotcha.
Any bit over that, it doesn't really matter because you get closer to a full mix.
Sound never gets old.
It's pretty good. It's a lot better than the M54.
But BMW designed the engine, no?
They did. But the M54 was one of the first turbo motors they did.
When do you think you're gonna test the car again?
So we are going to go on the 25th, so the end of this month, to Buttonwillow to test it.
Nice.
Mostly to test the manifold and the aero balance with the new splitter.
Are you gonna be using slicks or?
Yeah, we're going to be testing on the slicks and the new 52s for
That's gonna be fun.
for GTA spec.
The slicks is something else, no? Big
slicks are
Willow?
fun. Yeah.
Race car has Apple CarPlay.
Fantastic.
And it's wireless, that's crazy.
That's really cool. And you get wireless you get charging too, wireless
Oh
charging.
yeah.
cup holders.
Practical.
And you got AC. AC's working.
Are you just gonna leave it running?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a light.
Okay.
Right. No,
Just a quick walk around. So yeah guys, if you did like that video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more cool stuff here at JMP.
I went down the street and I was like, fuck, I need my laptop. So bad.
Alright man,
Thanks, Ian.
see you around.